Feeling the loss of control in the spirit, so colorful. Easy feeling, then let's go home to a place where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Rise, rise, keep on rising, rise, rise,
Take me home to the banks of the riverside. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the riverside.
Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you doing? This is the Toon review and our little sort of mid-afternoon transfer update. Billy, how are you doing?
I'm great, and all the greatest listening to that great song at the beginning. Makes you kind of dip your head and tap your feet. It's brilliant.
And I saw you giving a little head boogie there during the countdown
Yeah,
as well.
yourself.
Little bit of movement there. Yeah, it's more upbeat than the other one. So hopefully the copyright issues are sorted, and I get to keep them now because I prefer it that way, to be honest. Now then, we've got a few comments already in, which is absolutely fantastic. Josh in the house, Lee in the house. Lee says, "What's the latest on Grammarish?" We'll let you know very shortly. Morning, Melissa. It's afternoon, but it could be morning where you are. I'm not sure. Are we also interested in Simon Germany's legendary Thomas Muller from Bayern Munich, or is that just nonsense? Victor Osimhen. I'm not sure who he plays for. Hi, Andrew. Hope you're well. The Foster's in the house. Michelle Backer's agents in Newcastle today. Yeah, we'll come on to that one. Matt's hi there from Norway. Afternoon, Stephen. Interesting to see whether Bruno plays any part in Brazil's World Cup qualifier against Ecuador tonight. Apparently, he's going to have a medical tomorrow. Indeed, he is, but I think the medical may be taking place overseas. But we'll see. Afternoon, Andrew. I've just seen the championship forward on more Leicester walking down Jesmond Dean. Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be signing for us, Billy.
No, I don't think so. There'll be too much outside interference with the clubs, I think.
Oh dear. George says, are we the top bid on Dembele? Dembele's going to be quiet, to be honest. I mean, it's not over and done with, but it's quiet. It will take at least 15 million to prize Dan Burn away from Brighton. Which we can afford, though. Kieran Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes, and Thomas Muller all in the same window would be one hell of a statement of intent from our new owners, says Lee. I mean, we've been linked with Thomas Muller, Billy, but it's not really. I don't think it's a goer, is it? Or can you see it?
That was just paper talk, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't see the point of two left backs coming in, Bakker and Burn, except if Burn plays centre back. Well, that's. Why not? Why not have them both and have the option there? We've been lacking of so many players over the years. Why not just fill the team up now and fill the squad up? It's what we need to do. Lee says Robin Goosens will undergo his medical and sign his contract as the new Inter player on Thursday. Confirmed deal seen between the clubs for 25 million. There was talk of that happening yesterday, to be honest. Dan Burn is a centre-back, not a left-back. He can play both. And he certainly played there quite a lot for Brighton. Not this season, but he has in the past. Lascelles can play left-back instead. Left-back on the bench. Good idea. Totally agree with that one, Lee. They say he can play both. He can play both. Hi, guys. All we are being offered is a Turkish delight full of Eastern promise. Dan Burn's proper position is centre-back, but he also plays left-back for Brighton. Decent sign if he can make it happen. I haven't heard much on Dan Burn this morning, Billy, but it has picked up a bit of traction over the last couple of days.
Yeah, the release kind of fee we thought was 10 million obviously isn't true because they want 15 million for him. So will we go to that? Possibly, if we can't get anyone else in the door. He's definitely a definite goer that could happen. Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, it could be another transfer deadline day one. It could be in between the 10 and 15 if the clubs come to an arrangement. Majestic Pillow is in the house. Afternoon, guys and gals. Wonder if we can have some good news today. Time is running out. I'm sure there'll be some before the end of the window, mate. Andrew, enjoy the show, folks. Got to see a gadget about work. Catch you later. No bother, matey. Mally, how are you doing? Hey up, all your tuners. Are you confident players will arrive before Tuesday? Absolutely. I'm still upbeat this morning, Billy. I mean, there's been no confirmation, not much news going on, but it's the same kind of rumblings. But I'm still as confident as I was yesterday.
Yeah, and during the day things pick up, don't they? It's early doors in the day yet, so if you're doing business abroad, especially, I mean, Guimaraes being in South America, that'll pick up as it goes on, I guess, because it's kind of late.
They're
behind us.
Yeah. He's probably still in bed as we talk about him on here. Gary says, looking forward to the show. Lots of speculation again today, hoping for some good news today or tomorrow. The loan fee Manchester United won for Lingard is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in football. They wouldn't be able to sell him for that price, and Newcastle are right not to pay the price as well. Well, we'll start with Lingard, Billy, because I heard a little quote from Ali McCoist this morning, having a real dig at Manchester United because of the way they've treated Newcastle and Lingard himself. Ali McCoist can't really understand what Manchester United are playing at, given the terms of the loan that he had to West Ham last season. There wasn't any loan fee involved. No. I think West Ham picked up, if not some of his wages, then all of them. There wasn't any loan fee agreed, yet Newcastle come along just a year after, and Manchester United asking ridiculous fees. How do we stop this thing happening, Billy? Are people going to have to start looking at bringing new rules in to stop this thing happening? Because it's clear that there is a definite Newcastle United tax on all these valuations, whether it be a loan deal or a permanent one.
I think we'll be whistling in the wind if we're waiting for the Premier League to give a constant ruling on it.
Definitely, yeah.
And Manchester United obviously were quite vociferous in their opposition to the takeover happening behind closed doors. And I just don't think that we're going to have to play. We'll just have to not play ball with them. We'll go and sign their targets from other clubs thereafter, and that's the way of getting back at them.
Yeah, I guess you're right, and I have seen that. With the likes of Guimaraes, there is players and there is other teams certainly interested in him, but we're at the head of the queue at the minute. CFC Florida, thanks for your $10 super chat, matey. Always welcome your donations. Thank you very much. If you do enjoy the show this afternoon, guys, please do hit that like button for us. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. You can also become a member of the Toon Review if you hit the join button. And like CFC Florida has just done, you can donate to the channel if you hit the super chat button, the $sign at the bottom of the live comments. So thank you very much in advance for that. Wouldn't be surprised if we stay up this season and try to sign Dortmund's Erling Haaland for the reported 64 million. Whether he'll come or not is another question. I think this came as a surprise to a lot of people last night when it was discovered that he can go for as low as 64 million pounds, because everyone was thinking, Billy, that it was going to cost sort of upwards of well over 100 million to get this guy in. But who's to say? I mean, some people are laughing in the comments saying, it's not realistic. But why wouldn't it be realistic if we stay up this season and we sell what we're going to be doing to Erling Haaland and what kind of players we're going to be bringing in? I know there's no European football next season, but it's building on it, isn't it?
The saying, shy bands getting out. If you don't ask, you don't get. And I think absolutely we might actually put an offer in for him. I don't think he'll be kind of aiming for the Premier League at the moment. I think he'll be looking for more, maybe a Spanish club, Real Madrid, Barcelona, because they do put release clause in. He's only 21. Yeah. He's got maybe two big moves in him. If it comes to the Premier League, it's hard to get him away from the Premier League because we don't really put release clause in our feet in our kind of business, do we?
Yeah.
But whereas the Spanish clubs do, and maybe he can be bought out of his contract later on.
Yeah.
So I can't see him coming to Premier League just yet. But if not, we could always put a bid in.
Yeah, but by the time he does maybe want to give the Premier League a shot, we could be one of the high flyers by then.
Absolutely.
Which gives us a better chance. Daniel Bowditch, thanks for becoming a new member of the Toon Review. Welcome to the family. Shane says, I'm just praying Guimaraes doesn't talk to Agboddlehall before signing for us. We don't want him going to Brentford. Very good point.
He was at it again today, wasn't he, Agbonlahor? Basically saying the opposite to what Ali McCoy said.
Yeah. I mean, look, the man's. I don't know why Agbonlahor has it in for Newcastle United. I don't know what's gone on in the past, whether we've rejected him at some point in his career, but he just seems to be a very, very bitter man. But let him continue to be bitter, because nobody, certainly no professional footballer, is going to listen to what Gabby Agbonlahor has to say, whether they're thinking of a move to Newcastle. They're not going to say, I best ring Gabby Agbonlahor up and get his point. Not going to happen. Godfrey Don says, Santa Paul, please bring us some good tidings. I'm sure there will be this week. There will be, definitely. A lot of people saying hello to each other in the chat. Just says you've been watching clips of Bruno. What a player. I haven't seen any clips of him yet, Billy. I've seen a bit of the French football, but I haven't seen clips. Have you seen much of him?
He's just a really elegant defensive midfielder. He wins the ball, but he's also not just one of the usual central defensive midfielders. Win the ball, pass it 10 yards, someone that can pass it. He wins the ball and he can pass it forward as well. He's got a real good eye for pass. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of his uniqueness. He's a really, really top player. Well,
we were saying last night, weren't we, about him being a kind of Tiote Kabai all in one player, which player like that is fantastic, and will hopefully benefit us for years to come. I mean, a guy who can tackle, put a foot in, he's tough, but can also pass the ball, is incredible.
And dribbling ability as well. He's got good dribbling ability. He's got the full lot, but he just sits in front of the back four and creates attacks from there. Real quarterback style.
Caitlin and Nick say, hey, people, anyone else listening to the Toon review when they're meant to be working? I think there's a lot, judging by the comments, saying they've got two screens on. They're on meetings on one screen and watching this on the other one. So very much multitasking nowadays is all this computer stuff, and people seem to be able to do it quite well. Matthew says, I'm going to be worried if we haven't signed anyone by Saturday. Brill intro says Gary. Listen, I wouldn't be too worried, Matthew, because we know what deadline day is like in football, and we know that Newcastle United are going to play a huge part this time around. I think, Billy, that there's going to be a lot of deals done on deadline day, which is why over the hours of deadline day that both our channels are going to be very, very busy bringing everybody up to date with the latest news. I mean, I'll be sitting here. I'll have an iPad on with Sky Sports News. I'll have my phone flicking through Twitter. I'll be streaming. I'm really looking forward to it, actually, because it's a day that we haven't had any enjoyment out of for years.
Yeah, in the past, transfer deadline day simply has been known as Monday to us, hasn't it? Let's be honest. It's just a regular Monday. Nothing happens for us. But like you say, this Monday is going to be a real, real busy one. I'll be with you. I'll have a computer in front of me. I'll have my TV to the right with Sky Sports News on. We'll be on top of everything that happens. On both channels, it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking forward to. I mean, we'll probably be sort of broadcasting at the same time, but we'll be jumping over onto each other's channels and just keeping everybody abreast of what's going on. And I think, certainly, when you look at Sky Sports News, they'll only be looking at Newcastle at certain points in the day, obviously going to the reporters around the country. We will be focusing on just Newcastle. So I'll have the news feeds going on one screen for Newcastle United as well. So I expect it to be very busy. And we said this yesterday, maybe, deadline day, we only bring in one player or two. But one thing's for sure, Newcastle United are going to be linked with everybody on deadline day.
Yeah, anyone and everyone, really. But you won't be the usual championship bargain basement type players that we've usually been linked with on loans on the last day of the season. The Shefty Cooch to this world. It'll be top quality players that'll improve our squad, and we need them. Let's be honest. We need the players in to kind of protect our Premier League place, really.
Yeah.
Got to happen.
Exactly. Geordie Riff says it's a lovely surprise seeing War Billy. It's always a nice surprise to see War Billy.
Thank you.
No news and days going fast. Don't worry. Burnley making moves in the window. I'm not a Toon fan, just a real football fan. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. I'll read. Carlos deal definitely off till summer. Yeah. Basically, what's happened with Carlos deal is they haven't come to any agreement, but the deal could be rectified in the summer. From what we believe is Sevilla, once again, playing funny buggers with valuation fees and stuff like that. Newcastle have, I think, decided to walk away. Now, I wouldn't take too much into that and saying that the deal is 100% off, because that's never the case, because things on deadline day may change. And we've spoke about that, Billy, with Sevilla maybe deciding, Christ, we can't take the risk here of losing so much money.
Yeah, maybe one last dig in on the Monday just to really test the water. I mean, that's not, beyond the realms of possibility at all, is it? Let's be honest. I think that could still happen, and whether they accept it or not is up to them, really. But they've played hardball so far. No reason to expect them to not carry on with that, I guess.
It's a strange one, because I'll never understand them turning that much money down, because if something happens to Carlos in the remaining games of the season, he takes a dip in form or he gets injured, then they're going to lose an awful lot of money. But hey, that's Sevilla's risk that they're taking. Whether they've managed to convince the player that he is wanted at Sevilla for the last 6 months, because we know he's asked to leave the club. So it's going to be, will that create a little bit of an upset in the dressing room? Who knows? Sevilla are trying, obviously, they believe they can win La Liga this season, and they need all the best players. Haas, thank you very much for becoming a new member of the Toon Review. Welcome to the family, my friend. Chris says, can't catch this show live today, we'll watch later. That's not a problem at all. HP says, deals are coming. I spoke with Heinz to confirm. Honestly, wasn't it a 1 p.m. start? Well, yeah, we did start at 1 p.m. Thank you very much. Don says, transfer gossip seems a bit quiet today. Hopefully that's a good thing. Maybe it is, Billy, because the more we don't hear about, because, if you remember, it went all very quiet before Chris Wood was brought in. And then all of a sudden, it went quiet, and Guimaraes was then brought into the equation. And now it's quiet again, just hoping that things are being dealt with behind the scenes with him. I'll give you the information that I've got of what's happening with Guimaraes. I love saying that name, Billy. It's like a Guimaraes.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Basically, what's happening is we are led to believe that Leon and Newcastle reps are meeting today over the payment structure for the deal, because that is what's holding everything up. Newcastle, for some reason, want to pay for this deal over a 5-year period, which I'm not sure why. It's maybe have something to do with FFP. So we can go and blow the bank in the summer again, which is why we want to make structured payments. Now, Leon are fine with installments, but they only want 2 installments, basically. So, or just a whole payment up front. So that's where the negotiations are slowing down at the minute, because Leon want one payment structure, we want another. And that's where the problem lies at the minute. So we just have to be patient and let the representatives get on with it. But I think, Billy, at the end of the day, a deal will be sorted, because I'm sure that they'll meet in the middle somewhere at the end of it, and a deal will be done.
Yeah, them being a PLC kind of determines which way they go, because they either want the full Monty now or half now and a half in a year's time. They can't have 5 different payments, because it doesn't really pay fair effect on their share price. I think it'll get done. I think we'll probably play in 2 installments. I mean, I don't see where the problem is in that. 17.5 million each. You can't really argue with that.
Peter Furbank, thanks for the £4.49 super chat. He's gone on to say, hope Sevilla try to get something from us sometime in the future, and we sting them the way they try and sting us. I generally thought, Billy, I thought that maybe once I knew they were interested in Miggy, I thought maybe a deal could be done there.
They don't seem to have pushed that, do they, at all, really? I mean, shame, really, because that might have been the thing that pushed it over the edge, but hey-ho.
It's one of them things, I guess. But obviously Newcastle want the deal with Carlos done very quickly, because we know that there's other clubs interested. Certainly Manchester United have had an interest. But it's like we said yesterday, Billy, it's so nice to have the likes of Manchester United and Arsenal going in for the same players as we are, and we come out on top. It's refreshing, to say the least.
I wouldn't be surprised if that Martial loan deal had something to do with why this has gone on longer than what it should have done. I mean, they gave him a free loan deal there, didn't they, for a player that's worth lots and lots of money. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be surprised if there's been some kind of secret negotiations to stop the deal for Carlos going through, and maybe Man United will visit that in the summer. But good luck to our bidders, lads.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the annoying thing, isn't it? Is the fact that there's clearly shenanigans going on behind the scenes. Because, why, again, with Manchester United, they let Martial go to go out there to Sevilla and don't get any sort of fee. They don't get a loan fee. They don't get a transfer fee. They get nothing. Now, something's obviously going on fishy behind the scenes. Otherwise, why would that happen?
That's blatant sweetener, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. CSC Florida, thanks for another $5 super chats. He says, Paul, Sevilla did the same routine this past summer with Chelsea RE Jules Koundé. Apparently, this is their game, trying to keep upping the price. Well, they're going to lose out eventually. John Joe, thank you very much for the £4.49. If Leon want money up front, then it should be discounted a little bit. I agree with that. Just like if you were going to buy a car, you go in the showroom and say, right, how much will you take off the valuation if I pay in cash right up front? So that cuts out the middlemen and everything. So you get a reduction on the price of the car. I think football's slightly different, obviously, but it can work that way a little bit. But yeah, going back to CFC's Florida comment there, Billy, about Sevilla. They did the same with Chelsea. And obviously, surely they're going to lose out on an awful lot of money by doing this because, you know, they're going to get a reputation around the football world, clearly, for being untrustworthy, that you can't go in and deal with them straight up front and say, right, what is your valuation of a player? Right, we'll match that, get a deal done. And then 2 days later, they say, well, no, actually, the player's valuation is X, Y, or Z. They're going to get a reputation.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Well, they want to sell him, or you don't. Why didn't they just say the first time we asked them, sorry, he's not for sale? That's what we've got to say. End of the deal.
I mean, this guy, this president of Sevilla, sounds very much like he's related to the Everton chairman by the sound of the Everton owner. I mean, it's absolute madness. I am excited for all the transfers. I bet it's awesome right now as a Toon fan. Happy days, you all deserve it. I take it that you might be American, judging by Happy Days. Y'all. That's American, isn't it? Y'all deserve it.
Williams F1 Racing. No, it's a strange name for an American.
I know. Are you anything to do with Williams F1? Matthew says Muller out of our league at the moment. Let's face it. Right. I'll put the question to you, Matthew. Why is he out of our league at the minute? I mean, you know, yes, he plays for Bayern Munich, but would he not face it, you know, in the latter stage of his career? Would he not fancy giving the Premier League a crack? You know, if we bring in Guimaraes and we bring in a couple of others, why not? Listen, you've got to start thinking in a bigger way now than what we have done in the past, Billy, because these are the players that we're going to be linked to. We're going to be linked to world-class players now, rather than the, you know, bargain basement shopping we've done over the Mike Ashley era. And fans have to get used to that.
And you could possibly make a case for Matthew's statement had this been 5-10 years ago when he was in his peak.
Definitely.
But at the minute, you know, he's in his 30s now, looking for a last move in his career. Well, it'll be a first move for him, won't it? He's been at Munich all of his career, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could definitely be linked with us, and we could definitely have him on our side. I just don't think I'd rather have Lingard myself personally. But there you go. He's a quality player. Muller has been, and he probably is a has been now, to be fair.
Yeah, but is he better than what we've got, Billy?
Absolutely, yeah. He'd be unique on our side at the moment, wouldn't he?
Yeah, damn right. We've got a comment here from Drew about James Ward-Prowse, Billy. Now, this is a guy who I thought would be in high demand in January. Not just from Newcastle United, but from some bigger clubs. I mean, we've seen Guardiola come out over the last few days and say that he is one of the best. Well, he's the best set piece taker in the world. I mean, that is some praise. And I'm very surprised that nobody has been linked with him, not even us. I mean, surely, if we were to go for him, it would cost a lot of money, but Jesus, what a player.
I totally agree with you, but I'm not sure January's a kind of move for a player like that. Southampton not safe yet. I think in the summer, I think if he's going to move on, it'll be in the summer. But he could be another Letizia, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Someone that wants to stay at Southampton all his career. They seem to be able to keep players like that, don't they?
Mm. Which is good. I mean, obviously they've been known as a selling club in the past, but you know, like you say, Letizia stayed all his career. Ward-Prowse, he's the captain of the club already. It depends what his aspirations are. Of course, we don't know. John Joe, thank you for the £4.49 again, mate. He says, if this is how January is going to be like, what's the summer window going to be like? Well, it'll be
insane,
crazy. Haas says, Trippier, Shah, Burn and Manquillo is not a horrendous back four. Absolutely not. I mean,
I agree.
This left back situation, Billy, many people have been sort of discussing it, and I've seen a few people post out there their after transfer window first 11. and it still has Matt Ritchie at left back in a lot of people's. But I honestly think that given Shah's performances at left back recently, if Paul Dummett's not available, because Dummett is a proper left back, then we have Manquillo, we have Jamal Lewis. Surely Matt Ritchie is now way down the pecking order.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play for the club again, unless you bring him on as a sub to tighten things up as a left midfielder, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't see him playing at left back ever again, and I hope we don't see him at left back ever again because he's not a left back.
I mean, Manquillo, although he's right-footed, Kieran Trippier's proved, in the past for England as well, that a right back can slot into left back. But what we saw on Saturday was actually Manquillo linking up with ASM. Now, we haven't been able to say that ASM has linked up with many people this season, but it was so promising seeing him bombing down the left.
He was outstanding when he came on, let's be honest, not just as an attacking left back, but also as a defensive one, because he made sure that Rafinha was pushed back then because Manquillo was attacking him rather than him attacking Manquillo. It was a fantastic performance for the half an hour he was on, and he played well against Manchester United as well, at left back. The problem I have with our left backs, they all seem to get pulled inside, and we saw the same goal that Watford scored as what Man United scored, really.
Yes.
The left back was too far inside, couldn't get out to block the cross, and it's the same thing happened against Watford. But that didn't happen against Leeds. They kind of stayed further out and protected because of Dangerman, obviously, was Rafinha, I guess.
I mean, if you look to our left backs, Billy, who do you think was the last left back for Newcastle who could bomb forward and put in a decent cross? Enrique, yeah, I'd go along that as well. Because although Dummett's a fantastic tackler and a good left back, he's very defensive, but he can't put the ball in the box, like whip a cross in, like we see from various other teams in the league. You've got Luke Shaw, who's really good at it. You're whipping the cross in from left back, or if he plays in a 5, then he obviously pushes further forward. But he's a very good crosser of the ball. If we played Dan Burn there, I'm not sure he's the answer to whipping a ball in. Good defender again, but probably more centre back. But if you look at Manquillo, he hasn't got a left foot, but he can cut back onto his right and whip that ball in towards the goalkeeper and cause real problems.
Absolutely, and with a tall centre forward that we've got at the moment playing up front, that's what you want. You want crosses to go in the box.
Yeah.
Dan Burn also would be a massive, massive asset at corners, wouldn't he? Let's be honest.
6'7",
corners and defending corners.
Sometimes when you're 6'7", Billy, you won't even have to jump, and you're still out jumping everybody else.
Yep.
Madness. Malcolm says, has anyone seen the YouTube video of the team training in Saudi? Shelby looking like he's about to burst into flames. Yeah, he did. He was. Yeah, I'd say so. However, what I would say is it'll be doing tremendously good for their fitness levels. In that sort of, I know they haven't had the best of weather recently, but it looks pretty nice out there now. And the training again, working on fitness and things like that. And what I like to see, I don't know whether you saw the clip of it was 3 Newcastle players doing at some sort of event where they were dancing around a fire pit with sticks. And I don't quite know who the players were. I think one of them might have been Joe Linton.
Lascelles was definitely one. I think Dorgale was one. Yeah,
but they didn't look 100% comfortable, did they? They were kind of thinking, "Get me the fuck out of here." But that's the kind of stuff they've got to get used to doing. When you go on to places like Saudi where they own the club and you've got to do your bit. Septa says, hello, Paul. I hope you're having a good time. Do you watch Formula One? Yeah, absolutely love it, mate. Absolutely love Formula One. Shane says, Brighton close to signing midfielder Julio Enciso, who plays as centre midfielder, could help us with signing Basuma. The Basuma one has gone reasonably quiet again. But again, I would expect that to pick up over the weekend. The thing is, if we're focusing on one player at the minute, i.e. Guimaraes, then it may take a couple of days to sort that out, and then we will turn our attentions to another player. That's why things might pick up, Billy, certainly over the weekend and into Monday.
I think if we sign Guimaraes, I don't think we'll be signing Basuma. They both kind of occupy the same kind of area on the pitch, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think there'll be other clubs from the Premier League in for Basuma. I'm certain that Aston Villa will be in for him, and another competition if we were to go in for him. But Guimaraes is a better version of Basuma. Let's just put it that way. And I think if you sign him, then Basuma. Then that deal will be off for us.
Bloody Barry texted me saying, Basuma won't come if we get Bruno. Billy's just said it. Well, thanks, Barry. I heard him. Honestly, man. Stephen says we need to have options so we don't have to fear. We don't have fear over knocks on the field and no one to fill the gaps. I mean, that's what we've lacked over the years, Billy, isn't it? A squad that can
absolutely definitely
we've
the
had
squad
replacements in most positions.
The only replacement we've got at the minute of 4 goalkeepers, which was a ridiculous thing to do. We've got a lack of strikers and never been addressed. We haven't bought a centre half since 2018. So
yeah,
lots of places we need to improve our squad. We need depth if we get injuries, and we've got someone to slot straight in.
80s Gamer says Burnley about to sign Orsic and Weghorst. Newcastle United should be all over these two. I'm not sure about Weghorst. I think he's a journeyman, isn't he? He's been around a long time. I don't.
They just sold us the New Zealand Weghorst for starters.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we hope will be a decent signing. Apparently, we're bidding for Hazard. Look, I'd forget Hazard. That's not happening. Ecuador is 5 hours behind us, so you probably only just got up. Exactly. So let's see what happens later in the day. If Dan Burn is wasted at left back for us, he's 6'7". I think he plays centre back. Do you really think, though, Billy, if we got such a player like Dan Burn, right, would he leave Lascelles out? Would he drop the captain and play Shah instead?
I'd hope so, but I'm not convinced he would now.
See, I'm the same. I always have that worry in the back of my mind, thinking, you know what, has he got the balls to drop Lascelles? Because the stuff he's come out in the media about Lascelles being quick, which I don't understand, and I just worry. That he's sort of putting all his eggs in one basket with Lascelles, and he's not good enough. Very quiet this morning, says John. Yeah, it is. Neil says, Paul, what were you doing listening to talk shite? I wasn't, matey. I seen it on Twitter. It was just a little clip from what Ali McCoy had to say. So there, Neil, I was not listening to talk sport. Alex says the Hazard links are weird. Indeed, they are. Thorgan, for me, is the one we should go for, not Eden, but never mind. Still think Lingard should happen, says Matthew. Hi, lads. Greetings from Indonesian Toon. Biting my nails off waiting for new players. Let me sleep well tonight. Well, hopefully, Don, you will. Hopefully, let's just keep fingers crossed. Toon says there's nothing you can do about NUFC tax now, so suck it up, Buttercup. John says, Billy is the type of lovely bloke that you'd be proud to be your dad.
Oh, wow. That's very nice.
Wow. That's a lovely comment, Billy. That's nice to hear.
Usually I'll get fucking granddad.
Hey, mate, you've been promoted, so there you go. That's spot on. That well, nice one, John.
Thanks, John.
Lingard apparently furious at the treatment by Man United. He is, and rightly so. He's been denied, but this weird thing about paying 2.5 million to pay out his contract, that's picked up a bit of leeway this morning. And I just wonder if, because more people are posting screenshots now about this ruling and about this law, so just maybe we can actually just swing something and maybe say to Lingard, right, here you go, Jesse, we'll give you 10 million quid, right, as a signing on fee or whatever you want to call it. Use 2.5 million of that to pay yourself out of the contract of Man United. The rest is yours. Bob's your uncle. Come and sign for Newcastle for 6 months.
Of course, the worry there is if West Ham or Spurs said that to him and he ends up going there.
Yeah.
But I think if that was the case, if Manchester United kind of got whispers that was going to happen, I think suddenly his price would come down for us. They don't want him to go to West Ham or Spurs, but at all.
Yeah.
And obviously, like Alan McCoy said, Newcastle is the place for him to go. I think Agbono had that as well. Actually, they don't want him to go to Spurs or West Ham. They should let him go to Newcastle.
Well, I think he should look at what's happened to Dele Alli at Spurs for one. I mean, I know that we're sort of tarring him with the same brush as Dele Alli, but look, he's got this kind of persona like Dele Alli has, if you like, and going to Spurs for me isn't the right idea. Spurs for me are in a mess. Conte's got a lot of work to do in the summer there. I don't think he's going to get any support in January, which I think that is going to cause ructions again. It's going to cause problems because I think he was promised money in January. He hasn't had it, basically. So that may be problems down the line. And with regards to West Ham, Yeah, he's been there. He had a really successful loan period there. But you said ages ago, Billy, where they're going to put him in a team that's winning at the minute. I know they've had a few blips lately, but, you know, they don't want to upset the apple cart when they've got something really good going on down there.
I agree with that. Yeah, would he get in the side every week, which is what he wants, is guaranteed first team football every week. And you know, it's disrespectful. It is disrespectful to Manchester United. The lad's been there for 20 odd years of his life, giving them service. You know, great service. It's not his fault that the managers haven't picked him. He's been good enough to get in the sides all of the time, I think.
Yeah.
But managers haven't picked him.
Yeah.
He's gave them great service, and they should kind of give him a chance. You know, reciprocate it. The loyalty he's shown.
Jade, good afternoon. She says, afternoon all. Any news on Cantwell? That seems to have gone quiet. Nothing at all has been said on Cantwell in the last 48 to 72 hours. It's gone very, very quiet. Now, we don't know if anything has been agreed with Cantwell last week, which we were getting told from various people that a deal had been put in place. But I personally think on a level of this, Billy, that maybe the personal issues that Cantwell's having behind the scenes may be slowing up any sort of club coming in and taking him. And
also, apparently, Norwich kind of put the kibosh on it, didn't they, as well, by saying that he wasn't going anywhere. So whether that's got something to do with it, added to his personal issues, who knows?
Stephen says, what the Premier League need to do is stop clubs competing for top players despite being heavily in debt. The cost of a club, if sold, should not be used as an excuse. Man United and Spurs being good examples.
Couldn't agree more.
Yep. Lingard needs to speak out publicly, held to ransom by Manchester United. I think he has, though, hasn't he? Did he not say something this morning that he was very frustrated because he was disappointed with the amount of money that Man United had asked for a loan fee? He has said something.
He feels disrespected, I think, with his words.
Which he's right. I mean, it is disrespecting him. It's disrespecting Newcastle United as a football club, and it's disrespecting their own player. It's crazy. Interesting point there from Mark, saying Man United are happy to take some Saudi money, though, aren't they? £6 million or whatever it is that they're asking for Lingard. They're happy to take it. Ridiculous. It's really annoying as well, to be fair. Mark says, if I was Lingard, I would just sit out and say, stuff you, Man United. I'll go for free. That's a £5 million they lost out on. Exactly. Joe says, did you see the links to Muller? We did. Welcome to the family, Daniel. What happened to Eki Teki?
Just went cold, didn't it?
Yeah. Listen, you're always going to get links with players in a January transfer window, and then it all sort of disappears. You know, like a massive sort of river flooding with players' names and being linked with different teams. And then all of a sudden what you find is it goes dead. And then within the last 24 to 48 hours again, it goes absolutely mental. And that's what I expect to happen again, Billy. It's just you get these lulls and then all of a sudden, bang, it goes mental again.
Same with Zapata, hasn't it? That was quite a hot thing a couple of days ago. Nothing been heard since.
Which is interesting, really, because Zapata's an interesting one because it did actually look like that was going to happen. And again, we were told that personal terms were agreed, but nothing with the actual club. And I think they're going completely the wrong way around it. You know, they need to get these deals agreed with the clubs before they even approach the player, just so they know that there's something in place and we just bring them in and away we go and not have to worry about teams like Sevilla up in the ante all the time, which is mental. Fuji says Lingard needs to buy out his contract so he can get that deal done ASAP. Yeah, we've just mentioned that. Guys, if you are enjoying the show, as usual, please hit the like button for us. And if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to consider subscribing. If you haven't already done so, you can become a member of the Toon Review as well by just hitting the join button right next to the subscribe button. You can donate to the channel if you wish, as a few people already have today, by just hitting the $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and that'll take you through that way. And also a big shout out to the channel sponsors, Geordie Riffs, professional guitar repairs and servicing. Give Graham and Natalie a shout if you want 10% off your first guitar setup, 10% off your first guitar repair, or they will give you your first guitar lesson completely free of charge. if you just quote them, the Toon Review. So anything you need for your guitar, they are the guys to go and see. Based in the Northeast. Their website is linked below in the description, and you can catch them on Facebook and Twitter as well. And also go and subscribe to World of Sport TV. I've just literally had a text off Barry saying, mentioned that the 36 subs away from 2,500. So please go and support my partner channel, which is World of Sport TV, who are fantastic as well. Really good partnership between the two channels, and helping both channels grow, to be honest, and become a lot more popular. Certainly, World of Sport TV is one of the fastest, smaller YouTube channels growing at the moment, without a shadow of a doubt. Already overtaken many, many other Newcastle United podcasts and stuff, so well done to them. So go and give them a subscribe. They are brilliant as well. So thank you very much for that. And we continue with Williams again. Another thing, Toon, clearly on the way up, avoiding relegation. I believe this will happen. So what players wouldn't want to be a part of Newcastle getting back to the top? And that's a good thing, Billy. I mean, what we're saying is, when we sell Newcastle United as a club, whoever are doing this, if they go out and sell the club, get these players of nowadays to look back and see what the entertainers were like, the Bobby Robson years, show them what St. James's Park can be like when it's rocking, and really sell it to them of how it would be like if we actually won something. I mean, this is a team who haven't won anything for so long, yet they've got a fan base and a support like ours. I mean, what the hell would it be like if we won anything? So it's very important to sell the club.
Oh, it's a massive plus point with the names we've had at our club over the years. World-renowned names, your Keegans, your Shearers, Sir Bobby, them kind of players and managers. And like you say, it's all on film. And if we can get them in as ambassadors as well to help bring these players in, I mean, who cannot? Who could refuse Kevin Keegan? Nobody. The man's an absolute legend. And Alan Shearer's same sort of, reputation.
I mean, how many videos are on YouTube of Kevin Keegan talking about Newcastle United, and everybody who listens just sits there and thinks, I could listen to this man talk about not just Newcastle United, but football for hours on end, because he's just that kind of guy that you just have to listen to, and everything with him sinks in. And if he could talk to players, I mean, I'm under no illusion that man could bring anybody to Newcastle.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And he could actually getting Kevin in as an ambassador. I'm sure he would, but it could be one of our great signings. If anything in the club, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Keegan could already be an ambassador. We don't know. There was talk a few weeks after the takeover that they'd already approached Shearer and already approached Keegan. Now, maybe they are doing things behind the scenes, and it wouldn't really surprise me, especially if they've turned around and said that they didn't really want to be in the limelight, so don't really announce anything. It could be something like that, where, Keegan just gets a phone call saying, right, can you jump on a plane and go and speak to such and such, about the club. You just never, ever know what's going on behind the scenes. Scance says, should we forget about Carlos and put all our efforts into another centre-half? I believe that's what we're doing. Certainly with Carlos being off the grid, I think they're putting all their eggs now towards Gromeres. That's not to say that, they're not looking at somebody like Dan Burn and bringing him in, because I think getting another centre-back in is critical, Bill.
And I think Dan Burn I think there'll be another centre-back as well. I think there'll be a top-quality centre-back on the list, next one down. We heard yesterday from Barry's HP that today was going to be kind of backup players that was kind of second or third on the list of the positions we wanted. They're going to start pushing those. So I think we might hear more about new names maybe in the next day or two. We certainly need another centre half. I mean, and I think we need two actually. And Dan Burn, as good as he is, I wouldn't want him as a first choice centre half. I'd want him as a squad player. I know he's been a first choice for Brighton, but if Brighton pick their first 11, Dan Burn's not in it, but he plays that many injuries. Duffy's been out for quite a while, played left back for quite a while. They go with three centre halves. He plays then. He's not a first choice in the four. Be a great squad player for us, but I think there'll be another top quality centre half on the list. We might not even know who he is yet. Might not even mentioned.
Brighton have got some very good centre backs, Billy.
They have, yeah.
Lewis Dunk is a brilliant centre back. And he's somebody that I thought would have been on a lot of clubs' radars. Now, if we were to go for Lewis Dunk, I wouldn't say no to him.
Absolutely,
he could be one of the marquee signings. Because
he could well be.
He's very established now in the Premier League and very well thought of.
England international too, isn't he? He's recently become an England international. So yeah, he's a great player. The lad from Dad on loan at Celtic last year, who looked horrendous in the Scottish Premier League, has got Graham Potter's got a tune out of him centre back also for Brighton. Adam Webster's another one. He's
Adam Webster's a good player. Yeah,
a good centre half as well. So I mean, Brighton's got a few of them.
And they've got Lamptey at right back as well, who we know is getting interest from various clubs. I know Mark Goldbridge on the United stand many times has mentioned his name as somebody they should go for instead of having Wan-Bissaka there. And I tend to agree with him. I think Lamptey is a fantastic right back, but we don't need him because we have
the lad they got from Getafe last summer, Cucurella at left back. So you know,
I mean, you've got to when you look at Graham Potter's, what he's done there, but those players have all come from a certain director of football who we would love to have at Newcastle and who has been very heavily linked with Newcastle as well, which may, he may, and, we know that there's going to be a director of football coming before the start of the summer window. It may well be this guy at Bright. I can't remember his name actually off the top of my head.
Dan Ashworth.
That's him, Ashworth. So, he may well be in place for the next transfer window at Newcastle United. And if we have him as director of football, man, I mean, looking at the players that he's brought in for Brighton, who are relatively unknown players. Let's remember that, Billy. They're not exactly stars. They're making themselves stars now at Brighton, obviously in the Premier League. But if he can bring them sort of players in for Brighton who don't have a lot of financial power, what can he find for Newcastle?
Unbelievable. It's just you can't actually fathom what he could do. And all you got to do is look at the job he did at England. He took his job in 2012 with a remit to get England competitive by the end of his contract, which was 2018. 2018, we World Cup semi-final. 2 years later, European Championship final. The bloke just seems to have the knack of doing the job perfectly.
Yep, definitely. Paul says he thinks 6 players will be coming in by Monday night. Matthew says, are you doing a morning stream on Monday? Well, listen, we'll be on most of the day, to be honest. I think I know Barry's got the day off work. You're off. Are you off on Monday, Billy? You are, aren't you? So I think there's a lot of people have taken time off to actually do the shows for you guys. So I mean, I'm lucky because this is my job, so I don't have to take a day off to do it. I'll be doing it anyway. But it's going to be thrilling stuff. Caitlin and Nick says, Toon Dave, it's fine. I work in Iceland, so I just go stay in the walk in the freezer with my headphones in. Oh, Jesus Christ. Geordie Toon for Life says the clubs were after their players will bottle it the last few days of the last day. Just watch. Well, we'll see. I hope that's going to be the case. Melissa says it's going to be a long weekend for sure. Plane spotters will have a good day on deadline day. Christ, the airport will be flipping. Is that your door, Billy?
It is. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no bother, mate. So Nigel says Sky say Burnley have 2 players incoming. The left winger seems tidy for 7 million. Yeah, listen, they've got money to spend. We know that from what happened with Chris Wood. Hamza Chowdhury, not a chance. Bruno's ball reading and passing is really good, Paul. You might need some tissues afterwards. Interesting. I hope not. Darren says, I have a feeling the current bottom 3 will move out of the relegation and Everton, Leeds and Norwich will go down. I don't want Leeds to go down, to be honest. Everton, they can go down for all I care. I think Everton, Watford and Norwich would be perfect for me, but, hey-ho. Toon Dave, can you grab me some nuggets? No, get lost. The Sevilla CEO was very respectful, to be honest. Well, I'm sorry, but you can't really call him respectful when when he's quoted us 3 different valuations for the player and changed his mind after we've matched every single one of them. I don't think that's very respectful at all, Billy.
No, he might have said it in a nice tone, but to kind of waste our time like he has done, who cares with how he says it? It's been disrespectful all the way through the window. Let's be fair.
Yeah, you just can't call trying to cheat a club out of 15 million quid respectful. I really, really don't believe that for a second. Stu says, this is only the beginning, lads and lasses. I've got a feeling this club is about to take off and go from strength to strength. Stop talking about chicken nuggets. If we get Bruno, Carlos will push for the move. I think he's on
Yes,
to
sir.
push for the move. But again, this is the kind of thing that will all be going on behind the scenes that we will probably never know about. But, players will talk to other players. Players will be talking to their clubs behind the scenes and asking why certain deals haven't gone through. Lingard is certainly going to be at Manchester United's throats to ask why he's been so badly treated when he hasn't done anything wrong apart from just say, look, I'm not signing a new contract with you. And rightly so, because he's not getting the game time. But I just think Man United are treating him like crap. Geordie Toon for Life says Carlos's agent is putting pressure on Sevilla. We'll see how much bottle they have. Barry says turned it down because they're in the second league. We know they're going for the title, so we have to see what happens with that. Bruno with his pass will leave your ass in the dirt. He plays for the shirt. Interesting, Truls. Thank you very much for that little poem. Newcastle owners are big money and big brains. No one can rip them off, says Abdullah. And we said that way at the beginning of the transfer window, Billy, and many times through it that, these owners are showing a bit of resilience because they won't be ripped off.
Absolutely not. You don't get to be like multi-billion trillionaires, whatever they are, by being a soft touch. And these whether they are new to the football game, it's still business at the end of the day. If they're still trying to buy and sell commodities, they're not going to be anyone's fools, that's for certain.
Yeah, without a doubt. Morgan says, how long after 11 p.m. on Monday do we have to register the players? There's quite often a delay with paperwork. I think as long as they've told the powers that be that there is paperwork still going through, I don't think there's a time limit on it. As long as they have agreed the transfer before 11 p.m., the paperwork can come in afterwards. Am I right? I think I'm right with that, Billy.
Yeah, I think as long as the FA receive kind of that it's happening, the actual contracts and stuff don't have to be doing that afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think it's been 2 or 3 days sometimes, hasn't it, when paperwork's gone through?
Yeah, it has. Dave says, in my football manager game, I signed Osimhen for Newcastle. Cost me 85 million quid. So if we can get him for 60 million, we have a bargain. Yeah, hopefully so. We opened talks for Liverpool's Nat Phillips. Listen, we've been talking to Nat Phillips for about a year, apparently. Again, I don't think he's the marquee centre-back that we're looking for. Not at all. But I did hear a rumour last night that Joe Gomez might be available for loan, Billy, from Liverpool. That he'd be a good signing, wouldn't he?
He's one of my favourite centre-backs, actually. He's a fantastic player. I love Joe Gomez. I really, really think he's a good player. And he's not nowhere near his peak yet either. They'll get him on loan maybe they wouldn't give us an option to buy, but if we offer him big money in the summer, he'd be a massive asset to us, and he'd be a massive asset to us for this season as well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because he's a top quality footballing centre-half.
Definitely. Wacky Angler says, apparently Zapata deal hangs or hinges on Newcastle agreeing to an obligation to buy for £40 million, regardless of Premier League survival.
A lot of money for 30-year-old.
It is. I can understand where Zapata's team are coming from as well. They will want guarantee that the money will happen regardless, but that's going to cause a problem for Newcastle because, of course, if we don't stay up, then we're going to pay out a lot of money for a player that really probably isn't even going to play in the Championship. John Joe, thanks for the £4.49. Says, if you can do a deal with Ashley, you can do a deal with any difficult idiot. So I have faith in our owners. Very good point. Maggot says we need to pull out all the stops for Zapata. John Joe says if they want money up front, then it should be discounted a bit. Yeah. Installments or upfront payments makes no difference. FFP is over the length of the player's contract. I'm not so sure, mate. I think it's still got something to do with a bit of who knows. I mean, listen, the rules change every bloody week as far as I can see. Botman and Carlos, £100 million plus. We spent 30 million already, leaving 70 million for 2 to 3 players. So may need to spread a few payments if we've big plans this summer. Exactly, which we do have, I would think, very big plans in the summer if we do stay up. Aston Villa rejected a £30 million bid for Douglas Louise from Premier League rival. Was it us? I've heard nothing that we've been in for Douglas Louise.
Doubtful.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That may well have been another Premier League team. Thomas says, please consider smashing the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying the show, everyone, helps the channel out and costs you nout. Thanks very much. Morgul says, Sevilla have a history of making massive profit on their players. Surprised they're in debt. Spain doesn't have a lot of money there at the minute anyway, though, do they?
Pandemic's really hit them badly, hasn't it?
Pandemic, yeah. James says we won't be a rival to Man United next season, but maybe the season after. Oh, I'm not so sure, mate. I'm not so sure. If we stay up, I think we'll be a rival next season. And I think a lot of the Premier League teams, if we stay up, will be keeping a very close eye on Newcastle United. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Newcastle should go all out for Neves. He's a quality midfielder. Pulling the rug from under Man United would be icing on the cake. He's a tremendous midfielder at Wolves.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I was, if I was in charge of Newcastle, I'd go and break that spine of Wolves. Cody, Neves, Jimenez, all three of them. I'd say, right, what's the deal? Three of them. What's your price? And just go for them, and that will rip the spine of Wolves apart. But Christ, our spine will suddenly become rigid again.
Amongst other things.
Yeah. Swiftly moving on. Kane says, good afternoon, guys. Just watched the Toon in Saudi. Hopefully they're learning a thing or two. Unless we can organise sponsorship very soon, our budget is 200 million. Then we eat into our summer signings. So we will need value for money, no room for flops. Nigel, I don't know where you've got this budget from. We don't have a budget at the minute. We're not in any FFP problems, and we certainly don't need a budget. So let's just see who we go for. Darren says, as a Villa fan, I agree. Gabby talks shit and just makes himself look like a right numpty. Cheers, Darren. I know Darren follows the channel a lot and comments on a lot of videos, so it's nice to know that even a Villa fan doesn't like him. And he's not the first Villa fan that's actually told me they don't like Agbonlahor.
He wasn't popular when he played, was he? Because let's face it, he was absolute dog dirt.
Yeah, I don't know where they get this, like, when I've listened to TalkSport in the past and they've come on and said, and joining us is the legend, Gabby. Legend? I mean, what's he a legend in? Being a numpty?
His own lunchtime.
Yeah, definitely. James Ward-Prowse would command too much of a premium. Saints captain and top talent. Too much of a price tag with a Premier League premium. Yeah, I reckon so. 70% sale in the club shop. Sponsor is coming soon. Yeah, we said that last night, didn't we, Billy? It looks like everything's changing for that.
Yeah, I hope they change the kit maker too.
Yeah, because they're not big enough for one. But, hey ho, that's the way it goes. Right, a few more comments before the end of the show. Muller has 16 assists in 20 Bundesliga appearances this season. Still world class, not a has been yet. Exactly.
Ooh, there you go. There's Alex.
Yeah, he's doing his homework for the show tonight, I think. My team, West Ham, haven't got anyone yet either. We need strengthening. That's a good point, West Ham. But again, I don't think Moyes is keen to rock the boat there too much, is he? With sort of cutting into the team that's done so well for him this season.
They did a lot of business in the summer, though, didn't they? Zoomers and Vlasic and people like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain too much, Wacky, to be honest, about being a West Ham fan. I think you've got some very, very good players there. George says, I saw a link on Instagram with Newcastle and a centre-back, Kamara of Olympiacos, who was really great. And if I remember correctly, he scored against Arsenal. I have a feeling that there might be one or two centre-backs that we're linked with before the end of the window, especially if we can't get Carlos or Botman over the line. It's just going to have to be that we're turning to somebody else. Afternoon, lads. Hope you're good. Thanks for the daily Toon news. You're welcome, mate. No problem at all. ASM still not passing even in training. Yeah. Video showing Shah asking to be subbed in training, pouring water over his head. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine how hot it is out there. I'd do 10 minutes over there and then I'd throw myself over some water. Nigel P, I'll throw some out when I can. I'm working at the moment. There is another transfer show tonight, which Stato is clearly working on. Is Belinda not there today, Paul? No, Belinda's just out and about enjoying herself.
Having her nails done.
Having her nails done, yeah, and her feet scrubbed and stuff. Don says, just watch the news and streams in Everton. They are so deep. They are so in the deep at the moment. We must take advantage fully and beat them next week. I want to hammer Everton next week. I want to absolutely muller them, Billy.
And they're not a good side, are they? Let's be honest. And they've got a real problem in central midfield. Doucouré's out. Dalv's out for quite a while, by all accounts. I think we can get something, and big too. And let's pull them into this battle, because their players wouldn't be used to a relegation battle, would they?
Yep.
They'd be struggling to kind of get up to the fight, I think.
It'd be hilarious if they go down. Oh, I'll be deeply upset for their supporters, Billy. I mean, I really will be absolutely mortified for them. And I couldn't be lying more if I tried. Skepta says, just lying down in Antalya, Turkey at the moment and catching up the news. Come on, Newcastle. Well, you enjoy yourself out there.
Not jealous at all.
No, not at all. Ian says, good news on Fernandes in training, saying he's back. So maybe after one centre-half. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with Fernandes lined up alongside anybody. But listen, we do need one centre-half at least, Billy, don't we? We need that one key signing.
Yeah, a top quality one like that, not just a run-of-the-mill one. We need a top quality centre half, and you can play a top quality. It depends on who we get. I wouldn't be averse to seeing Fernandes play, and I think Shah would be the one to play next to a rough and tumble centre half. But a footballing one, you could put Fernandes next to them, and it'd be a nice little combination.
Yeah,
keeping him fit is a problem.
Yeah. Definitely. John Joe, thanks for the 179. He says we need to get Luis Campos as director of football. He's been mentioned before, but unfortunately it didn't really happen. So unfortunately we'll have to see what happens with that. Right, that is it for the transfer show, the sort of mid-afternoon transfer show. Thank you very much to everybody that's joined. Well over 800 watching again today, which is quite frankly incredible. So thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for taking part in the chat. It's been very, very good getting to know what your feelings are on certain things at the minute. Again, I do apologize. I can't get through every single comment. It is an impossibility now. But you know, that's what it's there for, so we can read them up anyway. I do tend to go back and read them after the show, so it's nice to see what everybody's thinking as well. If you have enjoyed the show, guys, as usual, please hit that like button for me. Help build the channel, go with the algorithm on YouTube, blah, 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 etc., etc. If you have enjoyed the show as well and you like what you see, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and you can become a member by hitting the join button, which is right next to the subscribe. Big shout out to the Toon Review sponsors, of course, Geordie Riffs, professional guitar repairs and servicing, based right here in the northeast of good old England. They will offer 10% off your first guitar setup, 10% off your first repair, and also they're offering your first guitar lesson completely free of charge. All you need to do is contact them, quote the Toon Review, and Graham and Natalie will be happy to help you out. They are on the internet. If you just look in the description, and you will find the link to that in there. And also you can find them on Facebook and Twitter. So a massive thank you to Geordie Riffs again. And also, please go and support the channel that I'm in partnership with, which is, of course, World of Sport TV. Their link is down below in the description as well. Go and get subscribed to them. Help them reach 2,500 subscribers today. It would be absolutely fantastic. So thank you in advance for that. Billy, it's been a pleasure, matey. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. You're welcome, mate. It's been a pleasure for me too.
And we will be back on the Toon Review tonight. I will be back with the Gruesome Twosome, Danielle and Alex, and it's transfer special. Again, we'll be talking about any deals. Plenty of transfer shows coming up on the channel, and any other news that comes out in Newcastle United from the Saudi Arabian trip as well. We'll be talking about that, and just having a good old gossip about certain players linked to the club. Alex will, of course, have done his homework. We'll have some stats on potential signings and stuff like that. So please join us at 8:30 p.m. this evening for that. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very, very much for watching myself and Billy. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Afternoon, everyone.